Deloitte just surveyed over 3,200 business leaders across 24 countries, and the number that stopped me cold was this: 84% of companies have not redesigned jobs or workflows around AI. 84%, meaning the vast majority of organizations have handed their employees AI tools and then asked them to use those same tools to do the same old work the same old way. And here's what that tells me about the moment we're in right now. Most companies are not failing at AI because the technology is bad. They're failing because they're using a revolutionary tool to do evolutionary work. They are teaching their people to be better at AI when they should be asking, does this work in its current form? Does it even need to exist? That's the gap between an AI user and an AI architect. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to cross it. Right now, the dominant conversation in every boardroom, every LinkedIn feed, and every corporate training program sounds like this: we need to build AI fluency across our workforce. That's not wrong. Learning to use AI tools is necessary, but the same Deloitte report tells us something important. Fluency is the starting line, not the finish line. 37% of companies are using AI purely to do old work faster. Automate the repetitive task, speed up the report, generate the first draft. That is AI as a productivity hack. But then there's the other group, the 34% that Deloitte calls the leading organizations. These are the companies that are using AI fundamentally to reinvent their business models, not to do old work, old things faster, but to ask whether those old things should be done at all. As a CEO or as somebody building towards that identity, you cannot afford to live in the efficiency camp, because the efficiency camp is where companies stall. The reinvention camp is where legacies are built. So what separates the two? It is not the AI tools that they have access to. It's the question they are willing to ask. And that question is coming up in 60 seconds. Stay with me. Here's the practical exercise I want you to do right now. Not after this video is over, right now, while you're watching. Take 30 seconds. Think about your current role, your current department, your current business. Now, if you were starting from scratch today, knowing what AI can do right now, would you build it the same way? If your answer is no, then you have just identified your reinvention opportunity. The gap between what you would build and what currently exists, that gap is your work. And here's why this matters right now. The Deloitte report found that 53% of companies are responding to AI by simply educating their employees, teaching them to use the tools. But far fewer are doing the harder, more valuable work, re-architecting the roles, the workflows, the career paths around what has made AI possible. The person who does the harder work, now that's the AI architect. And that person in every organization, in every industry, is about to become the most valuable person in the room. If you want to take this further, I've built a full scored audit in the link below. 12 questions, 5 minutes, and it tells you exactly where you stand as an AI architect. Take it after you finish watching. Now let's talk about what that actually looks like in practice. I want to address something directly, because I know that for many of you, the conversation about AI, it feels a little like a threat, like the technology is coming for your livelihood. The Deloitte report actually pushes back on that fear with a concept I love. They call it the force multiplier. Let me translate that out of corporate language and into something real. AI doesn't replace the employee. AI replaces the excuse that you don't have time for strategy because you're buried in execution, the excuse that you can't grow your business because you can't afford a team, the excuse that you have to stay in the job that no longer serves you because, well, quite frankly, you don't know how to build your own. Here's what the force multiplier actually does for someone who's building a CEO identity. It takes the routine, the repetitive, the administrative, and it handles it, which frees you to do the one thing that AI cannot do. AI cannot sit across from a client and make them feel seen. AI cannot bring 20 years of lived experience to a strategic decision. AI cannot exercise the judgment that only comes from having failed, recovered, and led. That's your unfair advantage. And the AI architect is the person who builds systems to protect and amplify that advantage. The Deloitte report describes the shift in a phrase I want you to remember: orchestration over supervision. As AI handles more of the routine execution, the role of the leader shifts, not to managing individual tasks, but to orchestrating the entire system, human and AI working together. The report gives us a concrete example of what this looks like in practice. A pricing analyst, someone who spends their days running reports and tracking numbers, that person now becomes, in an AI native organization, a pricing strategist. Same person, same knowledge, same expertise, completely different leverage. That transformation from analyst to strategist, from task doer to orchestrator, from employee to CEO, does not happen automatically when you adopt AI tools. It happens when you ask the audit question, and then you have the courage to redesign the answer. Let me bring this home. The companies that win in the AI era are not the ones with the most AI projects. They're the ones who build AI into the foundation of how they operate, compete, and grow. And the individuals who win, they're not the ones who learn the most prompts. They're the ones who looked at their role, their department, their business, and had the vision to redesign it. The question is not whether AI will change your job. It will. The question is whether you are holding the blueprint when it does. I built a free 5-day CEO identity experience inside our community, specifically for professionals who are ready to move from task doer to architect, from employee to CEO. It's in the link below along with the audit. It's completely free. It takes 2 minutes to join, and it's the first step towards becoming the person who designs the systems instead of being replaced by them. I'm Paula Holland, and I'll see you on day one.